I do have to say as well, they did, over the course of the sandbox, they did a really good job of making this game more optimized. I remember when I first played it, it really wasn't that well optimized. Even with like a decently powerful system that should have been able to handle it, every time you'd go outside, you'd get like generally like 20 frames a second. It just wasn't great, and now they've got it where I can run it on Ultra, and it's, you know, full 60 frames a second, so it runs a lot nicer than it used to. I know there's normally not a lot in the vehicles, but it's a quick search. You know, it takes you like 20 to 30 seconds to do, so it's kind of worth it. But yeah, they normally have like Tinder or something boring in them. Okay, can I go in this? No. Well, with the weight being what it is and stuff, I think we might try to deal with this deer really quick and then be done for the day. That is the post office. So these feathers are good. You want to grab them when you can. You can use them to make arrows, and I only can assume they might give me a bow and arrows, but if I need to make them, it's pretty useful. Alright. I'm going to get a little cold doing this, but it's okay. We've got some shelter. Did I not harvest that? Oh, there were 2 guts. I forgot, yeah. Okay. So yeah.
It's making my head feel thick.
There's a lot more town to explore. So we're gonna go in. I think I've got enough firewood or something to give to her. But if not, maybe there's some like thing we're supposed to do. She did mention you could get an axe from out back, and that's actually gonna be a really good idea. I'm gonna grab that before I go in. You know, my limping body barely making it. Because axes are pretty useful. They break down like trees and stuff like that faster. Okay, hatchet, sorry. They pry bar, that's a good one too. Pry bars are heavy, but you've seen a couple points where I've needed one to keep doing stuff. They break down materials faster. I think you can use the hatchets, if I'm not mistaken, to help you, like, gut animals and stuff like that, so they're pretty useful for that too. Firewood. Oh, I see. This is where we put it. Search all the containers you can find. You never know when one might hold life-saving supplies. So they want us to throw firewood in there. I wonder if I have to keep stocking that up as I stay here. I very well could.
Goddamn freezing.
We'll be okay. That's still safe. Would you like to talk about? Okay, so depending on the trust level, do I get these things, I think? Oh no. If I give them things, then I get more trust. Take these sticks and trust me, friend. Okay. Grey Mother, trust you more. Alright. That'll work for me. So like I said before, it is going to get really dark at night. And I don't really have any sustainable way to keep a light going, so we're going to stay next to this fire while we're doing all of this. So, let's see. I don't have enough of that. I can start crafting these mushrooms into useful things. It also looks like I am about to run out of food. So let's see if we can make... Let's make some tea. This fire doesn't go down, so this is actually kind of useful. So herbal tea is cool because, of course, it gives you calories. You get water from it because you put water into it. And it warms you up and it gives you improved rest. That one might be a new one, I'm not sure. We're going to cook this venison too. And make sure not to eat any raw food today, because while I'm in a better position to recover from it than I was before, it still sucks. So you can actually cook cans of food and you'll make them warm. They're kind of cool. Okay, so let's eat that. That was not a lot of meat, but this should be more. A little bit. You'll notice certain foods make you get, you know, hungry or thirstier when you eat or drink them. Well, really, you just get thirstier when you eat dry foods. Like these will make you really thirsty if I remember right. But they're a pretty good food source. Let's see. If I remember right, you need a can opener to cook, or to open up the cans of food. Oh no, they took that mechanic out, I guess. I think. Alright, that's cool. And if you don't finish all the food, which I think I am too full right now, then you save the rest. So, I'm going to go ahead and drink some water to finish that off. That will lower the amount of weight we have in our backpack. And we'll keep working on some of this stuff. It'll help pass the nighttime and a little bit of the morning. And then we can get back out there and explore some more the next day. Now this is where I'm getting slightly worried that you guys might get bored, is this kind of thing. The exploration is fun enough. I have a lot of fun with it, and I think you guys will too, but sitting around and crafting these things is a little bit less fun, so depending on how it goes, I may end up speeding up some of this stuff in the future. I'm going to show it to you right now, just so you kind of get an idea of how it works. But in the future, I may start cutting out some of this stuff, like this preparing things and cooking food at night when nothing interesting is happening. It just depends on how interesting the section is, in my opinion. Okay, so we could make some bandages. Do I have any bandages at the moment? Let's see where we're at on that. I have a single bandage, so why don't we make one more? Or two, I think, actually. And then we do want to break down the newspapers and the newsprints. And the tinders, because that'll give us more tinder. Alright, so here's another mechanic that comes into the game. So, if you notice, a lot of our clothes have... That one's 80% condition. This one's 33, so we probably want to repair it. This one's 60, it's okay-ish. And so, some of these things are kind of in iffy condition. So one thing we can do is we can take some of these clothes that we don't need, like this vest isn't as good as the jacket, and I can either repair it or I can harvest it. And I basically break it down into cloth. So that's one thing. Now, let's take the, let's see. wherein these socks are kind of crappy. We're going to go ahead and repair them. You need a sewing kit to do so, which we've already picked up. Normally they lose durability when you use them. Okay, so now they're new. These mittens need to be repaired. So this is the kind of stuff you do at night to pass extra time that, you know, you don't need, or to go through the early hours of the day when it's too cold to really do much outside. And our equipment's starting to become a lot better now. Alright, so this is another mechanic. This is the deer hide. These are some fresh guts. And what happens is when you get guts out of animals, you have to let them dry before you can use them for crafting purposes. It doesn't have to be in front of a fire, but it does need to be indoors. And it takes a number of days to do so. So that's kind of something I should have done this before now, but that's what you want to do is when you get inside to a place you think you're going to stay for a couple days, is just kind of lay them all out so they start doing their thing. Now, I'm getting really tired, and it's also becoming daytime pretty soon. So I'm going to stumble my way up to a bed and sleep for a bit. And we'll come back whenever I get back to a point where we're going to do some more exciting things like exploration. Alright, so it's daytime, we're decently rested, and we'll mess with all that more in a bit. I am going to drop, assumedly the Grey Mother, or whatever her name is, won't steal the stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a bunch of this stuff that I'm carrying that I don't need right now. Maybe let's sort it by weight. So yeah, we can drop a whole load of these books here. We can drop that fuel. We'll keep the rocks, we'll drop... We can drop all this, actually. Just to get us a little under the weight limit, so that we can more efficiently carry stuff around. Alright, I think... we'll drop some of this water. There. That should put us decently under the weight limit. And we can explore around a little bit more. Let me eat these crackers and get really thirsty. So anyway, we're going to keep exploring some more. But like you just saw, that's probably what I'm going to end up doing is cutting out nighttime stuff, because that, I think, is probably the most boring stuff. It's like all I did was just go to all the clothing that I wasn't using and just break it down, break it down, break it down, sew some clothing up, break it down. Now, on the plus side, you'll notice if I press this, I'm losing heat, but I'm not losing it very quickly. That's because I had a warm drink. And it also might be contributed somewhat to the fact that I repaired some of my clothing. The more repaired clothing is, I think, the better its stats are. So, like, this clothing isn't going to provide a ton of stats. But, if I manage to repair it, it will. So... Ooh, a rifle cartridge.
Use this.
Could use that if I could get a gun. So anyway, it's night times aren't going to be as fun, and that's probably what I'm going to end up cutting out. See, now that I got that crowbar, I can start searching these trunks. Fortunately, that didn't have anything, but that will happen. We can also search the locked, like, containers with the crowbar. And I think you might be able to use it as like a self-defense weapon, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I can physically hold it and beat enemies with it, but I think I can use it self-defensively if I'm getting attacked by a wolf, if I'm not mistaken. Everyone up here in the north, they all use the exact same trucks and cars. post office. Got a feeling we'll find something here. It's weird, you know, finding other living people in this game. That's the first time in this game, other than, you know, the cutscenes that we saw earlier, that I've ever seen living people other than yourself. It's a little weird. Collectible. Margaret, we have to stop accepting mail at Milton. We have no way of getting it back to the mainland, but we can't tell people that. They'll know we've been holding on to it all this time. Find some excuse. Whenever you can, encourage people to use email or drone, if they can afford it. Keep my eyes open for the mail van, but I don't hold out high hopes. I imagine Jack probably drove it into a tree again, somewhere way in the back 40. We're likely to never find it back. I should have stopped him from taking the truck while he was on the drink. Let's see what I can do to fix the situation. Hold on tight. Isn't that technically illegal?
Useful.
I guess if you're the post office, you're allowed to hold mail, but for what reason? Okay, so yeah, I've got to fill up the firewood bin. All right, and here is our map. Shortwave tower. Grey Mother. That's where it wants us to gather the wood from. I gotcha. These are plain. I like this map thing. That was the thing. This game never had a map before. Fairly recently, I would say. So, it's pretty nice. Okay. What was I doing? I was doing something. Oh yeah, I wanted to see the papers that I took, if they took up inventory space. I don't think they do, though. Or maybe they just get converted into paper that you can burn, kind of thing. Definitely don't need tinder anymore. Okay, we can't search those. There's a stick in here. There's not a lot in the post office. Kind of thought it was going to be a little bit bigger. But then again, you know, if you're servicing a town of, I don't know, 20 homes or less, this might be all you need. It's not a very big town. And a lot of these places are boarded up, so I can't even go in them. Alright. More accelerant. If I remember right, scrap metal... Ooh, these... Okay, this is good. Definitely need that. If I remember right, scrap metal is good for repairing, like, metal tools, I think. And you can also use it for, like, repairing a lantern. So it's a good thing to have around. It is heavy, though. And I think that's all we're getting in here. But it is a, it's kind of like a long-term in-game kind of thing that you need, is more scrap metal, because you'll use your tools to kill animals and, you know, do all sorts of tasks. And they'll start to break down slowly over time. So you need to maintain them too. Alright. So if I didn't use any tools, it's 1 hour. If I use the hatchet, it's 30 minutes to break this down. Nothing inside. Okay. That might have just been a tutorial thing where you broke open boxes and there were supplies inside. Because like I was saying, that was a new mechanic that wasn't in the game before.
That'll come in handy.
Ah, good. I'm glad you locked up your newspaper roll. So that the bandits wouldn't steal it. You know, the bandits in your town of 20 people where everyone more than likely knows everyone. Maybe that's why she's so against us, you know, the whole outsider thing, because in a community this small, you know everybody, and so outsiders are kind of weird. I've never lived in a community like that where you know everybody. I've been close, but not quite to that same extent of, you know, like 20 people in a town. Man, these cars suck. I do hope we get a lantern soon. Lantern's where it's at. Okay, this is the bank manager's house. I just opened it with a key. Because the problem right now is I can't really make, like, easy light that I can turn on and off really easily. That was dog food. Delicious. You know, you can start a fire, but you can't exactly turn that on and off really easy. You have to use matches to relight it. So it's a little wasteful. So lanterns are cool because, you know, if you need to, you can turn it on for just a second. Can opener. Now, I opened a can earlier. Did I already have a can opener, or did they just forget about that? I don't know. All I know is I got some more herbal tea. And that's good stuff.
Still eat this.
Let me go ahead and eat something really quick. We'll eat that fish. There's a fishing mechanic in this game too. I never really got behind it, because everywhere you go to eat, to fish, is pretty much always cold. So you get cold really quickly, and you can make a fire, but at that point, you're burning a lot of fuel just to fish. It always felt... It's a long-term solution to be sure, but it always felt like kind of an iffy one. Because you gotta burn a lot of fuel to actually get anywhere with it.
I think I can use this.
How does that compare to what I have now? Oh, did I not have anything here before? Here we go. It's not as good. Ah, okay. I can wear them both, I think. Can I wear all of these at the same time? That's pretty legit, if you can. I always complained, like, why can't I layer crappy clothes? Maybe you can now. I think you can to some degree. You can wear 2 inner layers and 2 outer layers on your legs and torso. You can wear 2 heads, 2 accessories, 2 feet, 1 shoes, and 1 hands. That's... okay, I didn't know that. That's actually pretty cool. And I'm glad they're letting us do that, because I always felt like that was just a little annoying. They may also allow you to get benefits of 2 separate bits of clothing, because you could only ever get, 1 inner and 1 outer layer. I think this is actually a good piece of clothing here. But now you could get one that took advantage of windproofing, and then one that took advantage of warmth. And others as well. Alright. So we can wear our pants and then cargo pants as well. So now we're gonna be a lot warmer now that I know that mechanic.
Wonder if this is any good to eat.
Bank vault code 193808. Hope I don't need to physically remember that. because I've almost already forgotten it. I'm still remembering it slightly.
I need to drop something.
No, you don't. Hold it all. 1930-08. Okay, let's go back to the bank really quick. And we're going to get in there, and it's going to be full of money. Almost entirely worthless to our current situation. Why would the bank manager keep the bank vault code on a piece of paper in his house? I'm going to guess maybe you trust everyone in your tiny community, but that seems incredibly dumb. It is a small bank, though. I mean, what's it holding? Probably like 12 bucks? Where are these people going to spend their money? At the general store. That's probably it. 1930-08. I think it's left, actually, right. Okay, gotta spin it all the way back around. I went too far. So even if you forgot, you could still do it at this point. But I do remember now. And then it was 8. What are we gonna get? We've got papers, which we're going to burn, probably containing useful invoices. Papers, newsprint. Whoops, not that button. Nothing. Boxes. Metal shelf. Books. Gotta keep those books locked up. Don't want anybody going through the books. Ah, you can open the deposit boxes. Okay. Money.
This will come in handy.
A book. I've got a feeling this isn't going to be very rewarding. Who stored... Okay, I need to get that key. Who stored their bar of chocolate nuts in their safety deposit box? Okay. So we need specialty keys for some of these boxes.
What have we here?
So we're probably going to have to come back to this later. Alright, I mean, that was interesting. And I think we still... I don't think it's quite nighttime yet. We're only a little bit overweight. Oh, is it becoming night already? Or is it just cloudy? We may be a little lower in time than I thought. Also, give me just a moment. I am going to have to plug in my headphones. They're beeping at me, telling me they're low in power. Ignore Windows noises. Alright. We're almost done exploring the town. There's only a couple more places, but it is getting a little dark again, so we may be a bit limited. These people certainly left in a hurry. They knocked over their metal lamp. I've got a feeling if I search all these random houses, I'm going to start coming up with keys. Okay, that's open. We're going to start coming up with keys that we can use to open some of those safety deposit boxes.
Hope I can still eat this.
Mmm, dog's best friend dog food. Delish. Tomato soup. Snappy. Orange pop. Property of Canada.
I could make something with this.
So here's a question, you know, back to the whole, like, skipping boring stuff. Yesterday was exciting because we got to start surviving, and we got to do a lot of exploration and run away from wolves and run through really dark caves where I couldn't see anything. How does today fare against that? I think someone ransacked this place, actually. How does today fare against that? There we go. That's what we needed.
Useful.
Because today, instead of running away from wolves in the dark, we just spent a lot of time searching houses and breaking down crap, which I hopefully cut out a decent chunk of. It's getting pretty dark, but I think I've got everything. And more importantly, we got that safety deposit key, so we can go back there and open that box up. And I'm thinking tomorrow, because I'm probably going to run out of time unless I can sweep through them really quick. I'm thinking tomorrow we'll finish sweeping through Milton. Yeah, it's definitely getting dark now. There's a few houses, but at this point I'm just going to have a lot of trouble seeing, so let's just go back. And then we're getting heavy again. The big part of this game is weight management, as you can likely tell. I'm kind of at the point now where the lowest I'm comfortable with dropping down to is like close to 45 pounds, which is only like 15-ish pounds short of my maximum normal carry weight. So it's definitely hard to manage all the weight. I always kind of suggested or wanted to suggest the idea of how much is that add in? That's in a bit more. I always wanted to suggest the idea of making some sort of cart, you know? Or not a cart necessarily, but like a sled. A sled where you could attach your supplies to and pull it behind you. And sure, it would slow you down a little bit. You might have a slightly higher stamina cost. Look at that, it's curing now. But at the very least, it would make it so that you could carry more stuff with you, because you really, once you hit about 90 pounds, you really get weighed down. So anyway, nighttime is coming, and I'm going to do some sleeping and some crafting, so I will see you guys in a bit.